Hello, everyone. Welcome back again. We're going to continue with the struggles that writers have. So I'm just going to continue listing every one of those struggles and we're going to go through it. And I'm just going to try my best to give you guys any specific things that you guys have to know about it to better it. Yeah, being inconsistent is something that a lot of people struggle with. If you're not consistent enough, you can never really finish a book. Like, you can, of course, finish a book, but you had to be like somewhere consistent while writing it to have it finished. And it's just getting up, sitting down. That doesn't really make any sense, but yeah, sitting down and writing a book. Like, writing every single day, even if you don't have ideas, even if you don't have motivation, even if you don't have any energy after school, work, whatever. Just sitting down and writing about anything. Like, of course, people will be offended with the fact that how should I write if I don't have any ideas? Well, everything is an idea. You can always collect ideas throughout the day. You can always observe. You can always listen to people's conversations. A writer's job is mostly being an observer and then thinking about it and then writing it down. It's like 60% is writing down, 20% is observing, or more, I don't know, or 20. It's like, okay, I don't really know how to, like, how many percentage every one of those things have, but these things are so important. If you don't, like, this is what writers need, these three things. And you can always become more consistent. I was not consistent enough. I used to write one paragraph in 3 months. Imagine that. I was waiting for motivation all the time. I used to get one idea in like 3 months and I used to come and sit down and write and I would feel so proud. But after like 1 year, I saw I had no progress. I had no, yeah, I just didn't have any progress through the whole year of writing. So I started taking writing more seriously and sit down and write. And that was much better than the first one, because if you wait for motivation, you're kind of waiting for something that is not really, doesn't really come. It's just like a cinematic movie thing that you're like waiting for, but it won't come because you're trying it to be perfect, or just so, I don't really know what to say about it, but motivation is stupid and it won't bring you anything. And the more you stay consistent with your writing, the more you learn, the better you get. And you can never learn writing by waiting for motivation. But you can always learn writing by writing. So, yeah, think about that for a second. Loving the idea but not the execution. I love thinking about specific ideas, like making fake scenarios and um, mm, I love procrastinating. I love, having like, thinking about fake scenarios, but you have to execute it at some point. So there was a book that I was writing. I was so in love with the idea of it, and I was like waiting every single day after school to write it. So I was so much like in awe with the whole like idea and the whole story. And I used to always, throughout the day, I used to make like fake scenarios, and I used to write it down. I used to write them down, and then I used to write it, you know, and it would just come out so beautifully. And that is when I noticed, okay, if you like the idea, if you like the story, if you like the characters, then you're gonna write no matter what. Because back then I really used to have like long school days, but I would be so tired, but I used to still come and write. So the energy that it took to write, I didn't really care. I just wanted to write, you know. And I missed that part where, yeah, I missed that time where I really found an idea that I liked. Yeah. Feeling behind other writers. I don't really understand what this means, so I'm just gonna let it out, okay? I heard some people say it, so I just wrote it down, but I don't really understand it, so editing too much or not at all. If you are not editing at all, it's either because it is just so perfect that you don't really want to like delete something from it, but or it's just you're not reading enough, if that makes any sense. You are not, you're so in love with the whole idea. You have to be honest with yourself, okay? Are you going to read this specific book, this specific story, if you had not written it? If yes, then okay. But if not, like you have to delete something. You don't really have to delete much, but you have to edit. If you're editing too much, then you are, I don't really know what to say. Okay, I'm just gonna skip this one because I have not really experienced it. Something that I've not really experienced, I cannot really talk much about it. So I don't really know how to explain this one. So yeah, the next one is feeling guilty when you don't write. This is something that I feel most of the times. Sometimes I just write for 10 minutes and I feel guilty afterwards for not writing enough. Sometimes I don't write at all, and yeah, I feel guilty for not writing. Guilt won't do anything much, you know? You can either write or not write at all. So you can either use that guilt and write more or be more consistent with it, or just like feel it, you know? So you have to use all of these emotions that you're feeling. Guilt is an emotion that a lot of people feel. I hope, you know, like most people, all people, I don't know. But everyone feels everything. I don't know what I'm saying. You can always use emotions. If you're too emotional at a moment and people, you're thinking, okay, I should not really write at this moment, you should write at that exact same moment, because you will use your ideas to write something so cool. So use all of those emotions. Okay, this is the last one. Wondering if you're even improving. If you're even like thinking about it, you are improving. Because some people don't even like care, you know? Care. And the fact that you question, the fact that you reflect, that is just enough. you are improving. It's like, you will improve if you write more and if you read more, you're going to improve. If you observe more and yeah, mostly just write, and you will get better. I promise you that, because everyone who writes and is consistent and is open to new ideas, open to feedback, is going to get better. So yeah, that's like the topics that I wanted to talk about. I hope it helped. I hope you could relate to it. And yeah, I just will see you in the next video. Bye.